I'll say this every time, but you are not going to like my power rankings. Anyway, starting off with 32nd, the Chicago Bears. Again, nobody is going to shut the fuck up about this, but Taylor Swift was at the Chicago Bears Kansas City Chiefs game. And I know the Bears lost to the Chiefs. And usually when you lose to the Chiefs, it's kind of like you get a pass. All right. That doesn't usually, like, especially when I like make power rankings, like if anybody loses to the Chiefs, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's the Chiefs. The Bears lost by over 30 points. Anyways, the Chicago Bears are officially the team where players take their girlfriends to so they could watch them kick some fucking ass. That's exactly what Travis Kelce did. I'll shut the fuck up about it. Things aren't clicking. I shouldn't be wasting too much time with the last place team. Moving on to 31st, the Carolina Panthers did, exactly what everyone probably expected out of them in week 3 and their loss at Seattle. I thought for a second that they might win the game. They only lost by 10. Again, another team throughout the season. They haven't been nearly as bad as the Bears, but there really has not been any bright spots on this Panthers team. And rookie quarterback Bryce Young didn't play. Obviously, Andy Dalton played. He played all right. Honestly, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I might want to move forward with Andy Dalton. That way, Bryce Young can learn under the veteran quarterback, and the Carolina Panthers might have a better chance at winning some games. Moving on to 30th, the Denver Broncos. Holy shit. What happened? I have this fucking defense on fantasy because not a single day in my life has this defense ever been ass, except for Sunday, September 24th against the Miami Dolphins. People blame Russell Wilson all the time for this shit. I'm going to say this right now. Miami's defense is all right. It's a good defense. Russell Wilson did fine against the Miami defense. He is currently 8th in the league in passing yards, 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He has a passer rating of 99.5. He is not the problem this time. If anything, he's improved, believe it or not, from last season. What has gotten significantly worse is the defense. Not too different from the Denver Broncos. They have the Las Vegas Raiders. Another train wreck so far. Josh McDaniels has no idea what he's doing as a head coach. I'm sure Raiders fans have heard about it all day, but what? That's another head scratcher. Josh McDaniels, what are you doing? That's got to be like the worst decision ever. They kicked a field goal when they needed a touchdown to only then need another touchdown. And this man put his faith in the worst defense in the league to keep the Steelers offense off the field. 28th, I have the Tennessee Titans. Another bad performance in week 3. Now, the Tennessee Titans, unlike these other teams, do have a good win under their belts. Still, the Tennessee Titans only put up 3 points and haven't scored a touchdown on the road. Moving on to 27th, I love this team so much. CJ Stroud is balling. He has yet to throw an interception. He is 5th in total passing yards on the season at 906 with 4 touchdowns on the season, all while being sacked 11 times. This man is good. Houston might have the quarterback of their future right here. Speaking of another GOAT, we have Joshua Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals. Holy shit. Woo, I love another team that I come to love because they beat the Dallas Cowboys. If you beat the Dallas Cowboys, you are a fan favorite of pretty much everyone in the NFL that's not a Cowboys fan. The Arizona Cardinals, how? Like another head scratcher. I would have bet my life that the Dallas Cowboys would have won that game. And someone would have needed to tell my mama I wasn't coming home. This Arizona Cardinals team, a lot of people, including myself, predicted them to get 2 wins on the season. Could have been 3-0. They're only 1-2, which is still good at this point in the season because I thought they were going to go 0-9. They are now 1-2, had potential to be 3-0. The Washington Commanders, they're frauds. I'm sorry. Sam Howell threw 4 interceptions against, again, a good Bills defense, but 2-0 team, they're frauds. They're not going to be good. They're not going to be a playoff team. Moving on, 24th, Jack, I don't know if you're still listening, but here are your New York Giants. Again, I agree with you. I do think they might be better than 24th come the end of the season. But as of now, from what I've seen so far from this team, I can't rank them any higher than 24th. It's just, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I need them to get a win in a convincing fashion, and they can definitely do that Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks. That will be a game that they could use to prove themselves. 23rd, we have our best 0-3 team, the Minnesota Vikings. Last season, I'm sure everyone's heard it. Minnesota Vikings, 11-0 in one-score games last season. They are 0-3 so far this season at the Carolina Panthers in one of the toilet bowls. But moving on to 22nd, we have the New Orleans Saints, another very overrated in my opinion, 2-0 team. This team was 2-0. They beat the Carolina Panthers and the Tennessee Titans. Again, two teams ranked below them. And then they had a 17-0 lead against the Green Bay Packers. I do think the Packers defense balled out and they deserve to win the game at the end of the day. But again, we don't really know because Derek Carr got hurt. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Derek Carr is better than Jameis Winston. Either way, this team has been significantly overrated because none of the teams they beat are that good, and they beat them by a combined 4 points. Moving on to 21st, and this is probably why Faison isn't in here, because I have the Green Bay Packers at 21st. Now, Jordan Love is he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. So far this season, he's been playing like a Pro Bowler, but they were down 17-0 against the New Orleans Saints, and who knows, they might have lost that game if Derek Carr stayed in the game. 20th, Zane, probably the least annoying Falcons fan. I'm a registered Falcons hater. I can see what Arthur Smith was trying to do against the Detroit Lions. I feel like he was trying to throw the ball. Yeah, exactly. He was trying, but he has no clue on how to do it. So they made the Lions defense look insanely good. Anywho, the New York Jets I have at 18th. All right, I didn't talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 19th. Got exposed a little bit by the Philadelphia. He is an op. Got exposed a little bit by the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyways, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, are the best team in the NFC South, despite getting some work done on them by the Philadelphia Eagles. But anyways, New York Jets, I'm holding on to that Buffalo win week 1, holding on to it, thinking that this is the exact same New York Jets team as last season with a great defense, but a holy shit, goddamn awful offense. And so far, it's kind of looked pretty similar. They lost to the Patriots for starters, so that's one clear as day similarity. But anyways, Jets, if you keep getting fucking blown out every game, I will eventually drop them. I know a lot of people already put them at the bottom of the league because they haven't been playing good in the slightest. But anyways, 17th, I have the Indianapolis Colts, who have been playing exceptionally well so far this season. Anthony Richardson looks like a dog. The offensive line is outstanding so far. Looks like the Colts are slowly getting back into winning ways. Huge win in Baltimore with Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback. Good win at Houston. Kept it close against Jacksonville, which is why I only have the Jaguars one spot above them, because the Jaguars are a team so far this season, besides that week 1 game, have looked significantly disappointing. Trevor Lawrence has been disappointing. The whole offense as a whole. Like I said, I was banking on this offense being extremely good. A top 5 offense is what I wanted because I took so many Jaguars in fantasy, and they're all letting me down. They're all fucking letting me down. I can't. I'm 1-2. Started off 1-0. But I don't know. But the defense hasn't been good either. Houston Texans dropped 37 points on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Anyways, 15th, Pittsburgh Steelers, the team I've been pretty low on, and maybe I really don't know if I'm overhyping them or underhyping them here, but the defense looks really solid. Of course, Devontae Adams did make a lot of defenders look like Madden glitches, but that's besides the points. That's Devontae Adams. Everyone else has been looking pretty good. TJ Watt, obviously pretty good. Kenny Pickett, not really that good. But, hey, they're 2-1. They have a great win against the Cleveland Browns. They barely won it. Blown out by the 49ers, and then another great on-the-road win in prime time against the Las Vegas Raiders. So, 15th, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're mid, okay? What can I say? Moving up to 14th, the New England Patriots. Again, as I said earlier, Mac Jones is playing a lot better. Bill O'Brien effect. No more Matt Patricia calling plays. That was a terrible idea to begin with. Mac Jones is back to how he looked 2 years ago, kind of. New England Patriots defense has looked really good. Christian Gonzalez and crew. Patriots at 14th. 13th, the Cincinnati Bengals. I really don't want to drop the Cincinnati Bengals any lower. They did get their very first win of the season against the Rams. So good job, Cincinnati Bengals, on getting your win. But that win could not have been any uglier. I know a win is a win, and I want this. I know by the end of the season that this team is going to be a top 10 team. That's just usually how it works out with the Cincinnati Bengals. But they barely nudge out a win against the Rams, who I have ranked 9th, but really didn't have a good game either. And I guess the Bengals kept it close against Baltimore, but I'm not convinced. Joe Burrow has sucked this season. He's ass. He's been ass this season. So I need some more convincing from the Cincinnati Bengals if I'm going to put them back in the top 10 as of now. Now, number 12, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. They were 0-2, got their first win of the season in Minnesota. Tough environment to win at. They got it done. They've been scoring points all season. Justin Herbert has been playing fantastically. Is that a word? I don't know. Defense has been not good. Not at all. And really, I'm sorry. I already lost faith in Brandon Staley, but that was a good win to pull through against the Vikings, because that's usually a game that they win, and that's usually a game that the Chargers lose. And the Chargers came away with the win. Not much else I could say. They did still lose to the Tennessee Titans in overtime, which I know isn't that bad, but I'm also going to need to see a little bit more from the Los Angeles Chargers if I'm going to put them in my top 10. All right, moving on to 11th, just out of the top 10. It's kind of crazy that I'm the one underrating the Detroit Lions, because I guess everyone else is overrating them, in my opinion, because the Detroit Lions defense on Sunday was fantastic. I've never seen the Lions defense play that well ever in my entire life. But the offense really wasn't great. They were patient, like Dan Campbell said, and they got the job done. But, Jared Goff already has 2 picks on the season. The one he had yesterday was bad. Not yesterday, Sunday. Offense really hasn't been rolling like I would have liked it to. And honestly, it might be an overrated offense. I need to see them get back to the form they were in last season and have the defense stay the same. Then my confidence will shoot up. But as of now, I don't want to put the Detroit Lions in the top 10. I will put the Seattle Seahawks in the top 10, who, after an embarrassing Week 1 loss, have been rolling ever since. They got a good, tough win at Detroit in Week 2, and then pulled out an easy victory against the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't easy. It was only a 10-point game, but they did come through with the win at home. Good job, Seattle Seahawks. You are number 10. 9th is the Rams, and I think this is probably the most hated ranking that I have out of all of them, because the Rams, like the Cincinnati Bengals, they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't look good. Matthew Stafford has not been, besides Week 1, has not looked good at all. But that was a statement win from Week 1. They kept it close against the 49ers, which makes me believe that they have the ability to be a playoff team and that they can win big games. They did lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, but I do think the Bengals will eventually be a top 10 team. So honestly, I don't think that loss is that bad. But anyways, we'll move on to our top 8 teams. Number 8, we have the Baltimore Ravens getting their first loss last season. I believe they were 6th before. Tough home loss against the Indianapolis Colts. Last-minute field goal in overtime. Had the chance to win it, but Justin Tucker, believe it or not, missed the 50-plus yarder. It would have been nice if he could have done that, 3 years ago instead of kicking, the NFL record or some shit like that. That's some fucking bullshit. You only fucking do that against the Lions. It's fine. But that's besides the point. Baltimore Ravens, I still believe, are a top 10 team. I'm not going to put the Detroit Lions above them. They slipped up one game. This usually happens around this point in the season. They'll bounce back better. Maybe not. I don't know if, because they have a tough opponent next week in Week 4. That opponent being number 7, the Cleveland Browns, whose defense has been incredible. This defense is really good. I know they have Myles Garrett, Juwan Thornhill, and all of them. Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, other guys, I'm sure. But Cleveland Browns defense has been lights out so far this season. Through 3 games, they've shut down Joe Burrow, and then they shut down Derrick Henry on Sunday. A lot of people don't want them to be in the top 10. Deshaun Watson finally had a good game. If that continues, this team is a playoff game winning team. I hate to say it because I really don't. The whole offseason didn't even consider the Browns to be a playoff team. But hey, so far they are playing like it. Now, number 6 is the former number 1, the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I already touched on it when I talk about the Cardinals, but what the fuck happened? What happened? I'm lost for words of how shocked I am. The Cowboys 12-point favorite, 11.5-point favorite at Arizona, and they lost to Joshua Dobbs. Now, credit to that Cardinals team. They've looked a lot better than people said they would, but Cowboys, I thought that was a for sure win. But I can't drop them that far because this defense, besides that game, has still been playing prolifically. They've been a great defense. Dak hasn't really proven himself this season. He had one great game against the New York Jets, and after that, it was kind of all right. But we'll see what happens with the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. But I no longer think that they are the best team in the NFC, let alone the NFC East. Moving up to number 5, the Buffalo Bills have re-entered the top 5 NFL teams after a Week 1 loss against Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. The Buffalo Bills have been rolling in tremendous fashion with blowout wins against the Las Vegas Raiders and the Washington Commanders. Neither team very good. They have a date with the Miami Dolphins, who are ranked 2nd next week. That's going to be the game of the week. That's going to be a great game to watch. Honestly, do think the Buffalo Bills are going to have a great chance at winning that game. Moving on to 4th, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who running the football has looked great. Offensive line has been fine. Defense has been great. It's been fine. And Jalen Hurts is really, they're winning games, but he has not been looking like what he used to be last season. So it must be the coordinating change. But again, the Eagles, they're 3-0, but they are the worst 3-0 team, in my opinion. They have been the least impressive out of all of them. Could potentially have 2 losses against the Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings, but did pull out a convincing win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 25-11, which, by the way, is the first time that scoreline has ever happened in the NFL, I believe. Moving on to number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs are back. I know they played the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears suck, but they're back. Patrick Mahomes looked great. This is a pretty standard top 3, I think. 49ers, Miami Dolphins, and then the Kansas City Chiefs. Depending on which order you have them in, the Miami Dolphins or the San Francisco 49ers really doesn't matter, because the Miami Dolphins put up 70. They put up 70 points against the Denver Broncos and won by 50. They scored at least 2 touchdowns every quarter. Some quarters they scored 3. I have the 49ers at number 1 for a variety of reasons. One, they have looked pretty consistent offensively. The Giants' defense just could not tackle any of those guys. There are so many good yards after catch players on the San Francisco 49ers. And in addition to that, the defense has been lights out and has looked pretty consistent as well. Whereas Miami's defense, depending on who they play, there is some opportunities for them to slip up, I think, such as when they almost lost to the Los Angeles Chargers Week 1. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, because it'll help me out so much. I love all of you. Please subscribe, like, and subscribe. Follow the Instagram at ProNerd Sports. There will be a TikTok up soon. You can follow it. It is ProNerd Sports on TikTok. And I do have a Twitter, but I don't really use it. So, anywho, I'll see you all in the next one. Again, thank you for coming in, stopping by, and saying hello. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.